Sure. How are we going to start this one, Dan? This is episode 25. This is episode 25!
Holy shit.
It's episode 25, bitches! Dan, what do you think about that?
On a scale of 1 to 25, this is the 25th episode.
Welcome to Miffs!
Welcome to Miffs. I'm Matt Huss. And I'm Dan Rose. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus, if you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest. What? What? It's really interesting. Welcome to Miffs. Welcome to Miffs.
I don't think that made sense what I just said.
No, but rarely it does. But...
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to Miffs, everyone. Welcome to episode 25. It is a pleasure to have you here, dear listeners, to check up on us, you know? We're 25 years old now. Well, actually...
Miffs is now older than us.
Oh, wow.
Well, it's not, because
Yeah.
we're 24 years old.
We again, we're going down the episode 10 rabbit hole here, the 10th anniversary thing.
When we did a birthday for...
for 10 weeks.
But no, 25 is that's a milestone of everything.
We can't believe we've done this podcast for so long, you know. Dan and I have just had dinner together, and we were just discussing that we've had, this is the 25th episode, 25 weeks of doing this, Dan.
It's quite a lot. Not 1 week missed.
Well, in all fairness, it's actually more than that, because we had that bonus episode as well. So,
That's true.
And so, yeah, more than 25 weeks. And Dan, are you happy with this? Are you, because you said it's a lot, but you said it kind of like, oh, it's a lot. I'm quite jubilant at this. How do you feel on our 25th episode, Dan?
I'm very happy, because I remember that sunny day in Whitstable when we sat on a beach and decided to do this.
Yeah.
And it's nice that we actually... I don't know, it's nice that we've done it.
And, you know, I think our friendship is from strength to strength, and we've had some really funny moments within this as well, and...
It's been nice for our friendship, because we would have no excuse to contact each other if we didn't do this.
Well, I'd contact you.
No, we wouldn't have had any...
Sorry, let me rephrase that. I have plenty of reason to contact you. Dan, I'm in Canada, I can't reply to your messages. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, and in all fairness, in the interim between university and you coming back, we did contact.
We did contact, actually, that's a joke. We did contact.
We talked on Skype and stuff like that.
No, we did. No, it's been very good. I really, really enjoyed it. Gives me something to live for.
Episode 25 is the one where he tops himself. I thought it was going to be me, honestly, but, you know...
Do you know what I mean? It's like 25, like, that is good going.
Yeah.
And also, actually, it's nice to know that people are listening.
Yeah.
We were actually saying at dinner, weren't we? If we'd have got to this episode now and we hadn't have had the listeners we've had...
Viewers. Still doing it.
And we hadn't have had the listeners we've had, then I don't know how long... I don't know if we'd have got this far.
Yeah, but so, honestly...
Because people are showing a genuine interest, and I think that's the reason we've continued.
So from a very personal standpoint, and a very a genuine one, Dan and I want to say thank you for listening. We really appreciate it, and yeah, I hope you enjoy what we do, because, I mean, like, honestly, before doing this podcast, imagine travelling 120 miles from Yorkshire to Peterborough services, doing a recording in a car outside of a play, like, that's a weird thing, isn't it?
It's a weird thing to do, yeah.
I mean, it's still weird, but
still weird.
At least there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
But so thank you for joining us on this journey, and I hope you enjoy us for the next 25 episodes, where I do it alone in mourning of Dan, and I do like a really sad version of Miffs, like, welcome to Miffs.
One day, when once we get the production value going, I think we should actually have like...
Sorry, just pause at that. Once we get the production value going, not just two guys sat in a bedroom. Once we have a studio.
Yeah, once this has actual production value,
once we have people
and some kind of money into it,
please donate.
Yeah, I'm thinking every episode we get a famous band to record the.
Can we pretend different? Can we actually try and reinterpret that? Like,
well, if last episode's musical endeavour was anything to go by, probably not. No,
copyright is still an issue.
Yeah.
So, what's one of your favourite bands, Dan? Because we've talked a lot about music off the podcast, we haven't really talked about it on the podcast. What's one of your favourite bands, and how can we do that? Can we pretend to do their theme like that?
I quite like Queen. Always a go-to. Love a bit of Queen. They've got a unique style.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do like a Queen intro to...
What would a Queen intro sound like?
So it'd be like kind of a wailing guitar, like... Wee, 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 welcome to... Welcome to... maybe the operatic version of
Maybe
that.
an operatic version.
Oh, welcome to Miffs. Welcome to Miffs. And incest here and a death right there. Welcome to Miffs. Hey, we got a
Educate you all about the Miffs. Miffs.
That's good.
He's Matt Hoss and I'm Dan Rhodes. And this is Miffs.
I stopped that a verse ago, but
Was that also copyright?
if it's not over 30 seconds, we're fine. Don't sue us. If Queen sue us, I'll never buy
Hopefully this podcast doesn't bite the dust.
a bit of right killer Queen.
Ha!
Dan, can you laugh at my puns more, please?
Yeah, sorry. Matt, how you been?
Yeah, I've been good, thank you. That wasn't a really honest answer. It's more of a convenient answer. I'm okay, just tired.
Well, now I feel sad.
I'm not sad, I'm just tired and busy. But how are you, man?
How are you, Matt? Yeah, I'm good. Well, I'm not good. I'm just saying that for convenience. Well, now I want to get to the bottom of why you're not.
I'm not.
You're tired.
No, I've been working very hard. Just been up and down the country, and I just want
And doing most of this episode.
Hey, I do the lion's share of the work. Anyway, talking about doing the lion's share of the work, we got a pretty jam-packed myth today.
Yeah.
Guys, just as a thought experiment, today's myth is we're actually going to concentrate quite hard on the myth. Imagine that. Whoa. Imagine doing what the podcast discusses.
Yeah, Jesus.
Wait, do you reckon?
How many people, actually, if you can email us at misspodcast@gmail.com, I would like to know this. How many people who listen to this skip the first 10 minutes and just wait for the second jingle?
No, I don't want to know that, because obviously...
I'm interested. I think it's important to get feedback from our... I think it's important feedback.
No, because
If the answer's 0, then great. If the answer's the majority, then we probably won't change anything, so...
Fuck you! Oh, I'm Sally from West Brom. I'm going to skip forward until the interesting part. No, I'm going to cry down this microphone and you have to listen to me.
People from West Brom don't listen to a mythical-based podcast.
Sorry, do they know? Do they have internet there? Oh.
I don't know.
To be honest, I don't know where West Brom is.
In West Brom.
That's not...
Oh, sorry, I get confused. Anyway.
What's the people from West Brom have an accent like?
Birmingham accent, isn't it? Birmingham.
No, is that West Brom?
West Brom Albion, yeah.
Oh.
West Brom Albion. From Birmingham.
Birmingham. Oh, like Theseus from Birmingham.
Theseus from Birmingham.
Anyway, we can do this all.
Okay, let's do the myth.
Hey,
let's do the myth.
Jingle, 3, 2, 1,
go.
Three, two, one.
Back in. Nice little jingle, that.
Seamless.
One of my favourites.
Well, which one was it, Dan?
It was the one that we just put in.
Okay, here's the myth. So, guys, welcome to the myth. We are going to be doing a bit of a different one today. Do you know why, Dan?
Why?
They're so aggressive. So, usually, Dan, at the moment we're doing Greek myths. Is that correct?
Yeah.
However, this one is strictly a Roman
An Aboriginal Australian myth.
Strictly a
Egyptian myth.
Strictly...
Norse mythology.
Right, this is podcast over. The episode 25 is where I call it quits, okay?
Inca. Aztec.
Go on, finish it off. What were myths? I'm going to challenge you. Yeah.
Persian.
Strictly, what else? Go on. You took this whole...
Mesopotamian.
Okay.
Celtic.
You know more than I...
Sumerian. Indus River Valley civilization.
I forget how smart... Like, he's not a smart person, but he's, like, kind of nerdy when it comes to this kind
Chinese
of shit.
fucking Qing dynasty. Ming dynasty. Is it a Chinese dynasty?
Well, isn't dynasty the actual history?
Mongolian, I assume? The Khans, the
Oh,
Mongol
right, no,
Empire?
it's the fucking Roman ones, okay? Just, oh my god.
Never heard of it. Roman? How are you spelling that?
I hate you so
What part
much.
of Europe did they used to be part of?
Well, I believe it's from the Roman Empire. Have you ever heard of it before, Dan?
Yeah, well, I watched Gladiator, one of my favourite movies.
That's what we're talking about today.
Okay, that's good. I've always wondered, actually, how Rome was formed.
Well, I have a special myth for you, Dan. Have you actually thought that, or are you just saying it just to be a segue?
Just thinking about it. I have no idea what myth's coming. How would I? I mean, I didn't even know what the Romans were until just now when you mentioned it.
I fucking hate you.
Also, episode 30, we look forward to those Mesopotamian myths we're going to do.
Actually, episode 30 is a prophecy one, so keep an eye out for that. So
That's true, actually.
yeah. Did you forget about it?
I did, yeah.
Yes. So today we're doing Romulus and Remus, and this is actually a really fascinating one because although with previous myths they have used the myths as a way to explain certain things in a fantastical way. So like in Arachne, they explain how arachnids and spiders were made, and and also in like Persephone in last week's episode talked about how autumn and the spring.
Pandora's box, why we have terrible things in the world.
Yeah.
Because stupid Pandora opening a fucking box.
Yeah, how dare she open up a
wedding gift? Yeah.
However, this one, it's the other way round. So, however, this one's very different because it's the origin of Rome story. It is still a myth, and it's largely it's not factual whatsoever. However, it's part of Rome's fake history where it believes that it is. This is the history of the game, and we're going to find out how Rome started with Romulus and Remus. And have you ever heard of them before, Dan?
I have heard of Romulus and Remus.
And what do you know about them?
I know that they were twins.
Yes. And let's not give any away of some of the spoilers. Cause
something to do with an animal. I only know this because I went to Rome and I saw the statue.
Oh, okay. When did you go to Rome?
2000.
Wait, hold on. How far did you know what the Roman Empire was a couple of minutes ago?
I don't know everything, Matt.
I'm going to go to Rome and see these statues.
I've never heard of. Yeah, it's obviously not. It's not that common a thing. The Roman Empire. Yeah, only controlled like 20% of the world.
Not like the Ming Dynasty, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
all they did was make vases.
So we are talking about the founding of Rome, and it has a lot to do with Augustan Empire as well, and of course Emperor Augustus paid a lot of writers and poets to kind of create the history and the fabled history of Rome. And this is there might be some genuine, there might be some actual history there, but it's very unlikely. However, these stories are very much ingrained within the Roman Empire and the Roman way of life as well. And they say a lot about virtue and what's good, what's bad. They also say a lot about Augustan society as well.
I feel like, is it the equivalent of like Al St. George or something like that?
Yeah, yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a really good example actually, because it's kind of like a fake history,
like
isn't
a
it?
fake pageant history. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we didn't.
Obviously, George didn't slay a dragon.
No, he only killed a hedgehog.
No, he probably in real life probably wasn't a dragon. It was probably like a T-Rex, because obviously T-Rexes used to live back in 1,000 years ago.
They still do. They call them the Tory Party. Here's the myth. Okay.
Dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago. I'm not a stupid idiot.
You're in a weird mood today, aren't you? Here's Romulus and Remus. According to Roman mythology, the founders of Rome were Romulus and Remus, twin brothers, and they were supposed sons of the god Mars, the god of war, also known as Ares, and the priestess Rhea Silvia. The story begins with the deposition of Numitor, the grandfather and king of the ancient Italian city of Alba Longa. Now, we won't talk about this for a long time. However, Alba Longa is really important in terms of the Aeneid, okay? Because we mentioned Augustus paying for poets. He paid for Virgil, who created the Aeneid, the story which took the Trojans from the Trojan War and what they did afterwards and how they set up the Roman Empire. Because Aeneas' son, I can't remember his son's name. I do apologise. His son is helped found Alba Longa. So, Iolus. Is this too factual?
Wow.
This
is the most facts Miff's ever had.
I am having a great time here because I'm just nerding out. Can you just do, every time I do like a speech like that, just to have some levity, can you just do a fart noise or something?
Yeah, probably.
I'll do an example, okay? Iolus started up Alba Longa.
I shit myself.
That's weird. This is going to be a long podcast, isn't it?
Do you ever think about chicken eggs and the fact that they're just like chicken periods?
Yes, that's why I'm vegan.
Continue. That's the kind of thought. I'll do that kind of thought.
Like Dan's a rap, but I have Matt's Mythology Corner. Yeah. This is Dan's decrepit corner. Decrepit dankness.
Rhodes' rants.
Rhodes'? It's not really rants.
No, they're not really rants. Ramblings.
Yeah.
That's the same thing as rant.
So, anyway, The story begins with Numitor having a disposition by his brother, Emilius. Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, was made a Vestal Virgin by Emilius, which meant that she was made a priestess of the goddess Vesta, and therefore forbidden to marry and condemned to virginity, like me and Dan.
Yeah.
However, the god Mars came to her in the temple, and of him she conceived 2 sons, Romulus and Remus. So she has this. She has vowed the life of a Vestal Virgin, and it's very important. Yeah, so they have
They're
to keep,
priestesses.
you have to keep the sacred flame of Vestal alive. If it goes out, shit happens. It's a sacred flame. However, Mars...
Like the Olympic torch.
You know what? I'm too tired to negotiate. Yes, okay, yeah, exactly like the Olympic torch. You're not having sex around an Olympic torch, are you? But Mars kind of broke that kind of... There's actually quite... negative thing towards the gods because he just went in and had sex with a Vestal Virgin. That's a big no-no.
It's a big no-no.
But
the gods are always so moral. This is bizarre.
Yeah, they are the nicest people.
Yeah.
Zeus, he is a top-notch fella. Glad he's been in the show. So she had 2 sons, Romulus and Remus. What do you think of the names Romulus and Remus? Because it sounds a bit dweeby.
Well, my surname's Rhodes, so any of those, I think I'd be cool if I named my son's
Romulus Rhodes.
Romulus Rhodes.
Remus Rhodes. Oh,
I think Romulus Rhodes would... Oh, man, that's a cool kid.
Remus Rhodes sounds like he shat his pants in school.
Yeah. My name's Remus! My name is Romulus. Like a Romulan. It's a powerful word, isn't it? Rhombus. It's like a big word, isn't it?
Imagine your 3 sons. There's Romulus, Remus, and Rhombus. Rhombus Rhodes. Rhombus Rhodes.
Yeah, Rhombus Rhodes.
Imagine.
And Steve.
Imagine that. And Steve.
Yeah. No, I think Romulus Rhodes. I actually might do that as a middle name, maybe.
Whenever in the future I have kids, I really wanted to call them something mythical as well.
Yeah, I like the name.
Yes, I don't know. I think there's some really pretty ones, especially water nymph names are really really beautiful. Anyway, as soon as they were born, Emilius knew that he had to rid himself of them. Fearing the possibility that her story may be true about Mars being the father, Emilius knew that he could not outright kill the boys. This would be absolute sacrilege, and he'd probably get his arse handed to him.
Well, if he just killed a god's
and also
son.
The sons of the god of war. Maybe
not great. I wouldn't piss him off.
Yeah. The boys' demise was wanted because Emilius feared that the boys would grow up to overthrow him. So he had them placed in a trough and thrown into the river Tiber. So this is another thing that keeps on cropping up. People are always so addicted to power that they're always scared that they lose it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And always, why do people always wanted to kill kids all the time?
Always.
Sad times.
There are therapy groups for things like that.
Well, this actually happened to me in Yorkshire with me and my brother. You know, it's
Is this the story of your life?
Matulus and Mimus. Mimus, that's less than Remus, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that time, the river was in flood, so he could justify that the river had killed the boys, not him, thereby avoiding the wrath of Ares. So that's actually quite clever. Like,
yes.
Not to condone child killing, but at least it's a clever way of doing it. Not just, I'll leave him on the mountain, probably die, won't it?
Yeah. Matt has a thing for infanticide, he loves it.
Dan, how would you kill a kid?
But actually, talking about that, I'll avoid that question. Talking about that is weird though, because like the Oedipus thing. They knew they had to kill him, but they were like, they knew that it had to be done. Like this guy knew it had to be done, but that's just the human nature. At the last possible minute, you think, I can't kill a kid, so you try and find other ways to do it. Are you leaving them out in the desert or getting them to flood?
But admittedly, though, I think with Oedipus, there's more of a reason to kill him. This is pure jealousy and power, and he's just doing it to save his own skin. See, with the other ones, like, that's an awful. We don't want to die. We don't want to ruin the family. That's a messed up situation.
Yeah.
So they want to kill him
before the prophecy comes true. Yeah,
yeah, that's a decent, a more justified reason.
Yeah.
However, this is just cold-blooded murder.
Yeah.
Also, I like the fact that because the flood, he can get away with it, and that wouldn't deceive a god. Like, that's probably going to deceive a god, though, isn't it? Because
you say that, but Zeus made a woman into a cow and it fooled everyone, so that's not...
Yeah, fair enough. If the waters did not kill the boys, he knew that the river would take the boys far away from his kingdom of Alba Longa. Thus would be the case. So they would be taken away. When the flooding waters fell, the trough still containing the two boys came ashore. They were found by a she-wolf, who, instead of killing them, looked after them and fed them with her milk. The she-wolf was helped by a woodpecker, who brought them food too. Interesting enough, both of these animals were sacred to Mars. So there's a lot going on there, isn't there?
So, a she-wolf.
Yeah, she-wolf sees these two baby boys on the shore.
Yeah, and she suckles them with her wolf titty.
She's just like, yeah, get on mama's pies.
And then a fucking woodpecker.
Yeah, this woodpecker's just like, I can help.
Do you guys need anything? Yeah, it's Brian the Eagle's cousin. Barry the woodpecker.
Barry the woodpecker. Brian's on holiday. We need to cover for him.
Yeah.
Oh god, what was that? What was the catchphrase we had last week? In the trout.
In the trout.
Can you get us some fruit? Nah, it's in the trout, mate.
In the trout,
in the trout, mate. I'm drinking trouts are sacred to Mars.
Probably.
Romulus and Remus were then discovered by Faustulus, a shepherd who brought the children to his home.
That's a solid name as well, by the way. Faustulus.
That's definitely a middle name.
Yeah, he gets shit done, doesn't he?
Also, how are always the good guys shepherds? They're always nice.
Always shepherds.
Oh, always save babies.
Never a story where it's like this absolute twat shepherd.
But then again, do you reckon? Do you reckon the reason why shepherds always pick up babies is because they're a bit
good Samaritans?
Yeah, not what I was going to say.
They enjoy looking after abandoned babies?
Yeah,
Do you know what the word nonce means?
No.
Actually, I learned this the other day. It's actually, it's an acronym. It's a British prison slang. It stands for like something child something. It's basically the word that prison slang used to label someone who's in prison for sexual crimes, and that fed through to prisoners. So the term nonce, and now it's parlance in general day talk.
Yeah. Well, you gotta learn that when you go to prison, then.
So you'd be interested in that, Matt.
Anyway, Faustulus, who isn't a nonce, Faustulus and his wife, Acca Laurentia, that's some proper good names in that household. Faustus and Acca raised up the boys as their own. Upon reaching adulthood, Romulus and Remus were strong, striking young men. They had Ares' skill, and with the love and guidance provided by their parents who raised them, Romulus and Remus were proud and confident. Well, this is actually a really nice story, because if they're raised by gods, they're going to be dickheads. However, if they're raised by quite humble people, that actually turns out to be quite nice.
It's always the way in these stories, isn't it? That it's not only the shepherds raising them, but it's also the fact that they're shepherds raising like royalty without realising.
Yeah, this always happens. Yeah.
Always.
There's actually a lot of parallels here with Oedipus.
Oedipus, Romulus and Romulus.
Yeah.
Even Moses, right? This whole story of shepherds raising definitely. Someone who is,
Yeah, actually that's a really good point. Through rumour and legend, the two eventually learned of their birth and where they came from. Knowing their horrific past, they set out for vengeance and set out for Alba Longa. Once there, they killed Emilius and reinstated Numitor, their grandfather, as king. Because Numitor was taken off the throne, Emilius took over, threw him out. So they grew up strong, like, see ya Faustus, see ya Acca, we're just off to kill our granddad, or our great-uncle, I guess, and just gonna kill the great-uncle. And they do it, they just do it with ease as well, and then Numitor's the king again.
That's like when Oedipus turns up, kills the Sphinx, and then becomes king of goddamn Thebes, like it's nothing.
I beg to, he didn't actually kill the Sphinx, he killed itself after going, you answered my question, no!
That's true.
What else was I expecting? Because they were young and wanted adventure, they decided to create a kingdom on their own. Romulus and Remus chose the place where the she-wolf had nursed them, because they're still very thankful for the she-wolf. What happened to that wolf, do you reckon?
Oh, I don't know, bless her.
Oh.
What's her name?
Should we give the wolf a name, she-wolf a name? Priscilla the she-wolf.
Okay.
Good friends with Brian and Barry.
Barry the woodpecker.
I don't like Barry as much as Brian. Brian's more of a charismatic. Imagine Brian wearing the tie.
But Brian's quite, he's in a lot of myths.
He has a lot going on. Barry, there's a reason why you don't hear that much of it. In fact, he's trying to like gate crash on Priscilla's kind of thing. She's helping these things, and the woodpeckers. Barry's just like, oh, I'll help. It's like, no one really asked for your help.
No one asked for your help.
We appreciate it.
I was nursing these perfectly fine.
Yeah, he's
Oh, my wolf titties. I like saying wolf titties.
my wolf titties.
I feel sorry for the she-wolf. Why was she all alone? Wolves should be in packs.
Well, I don't know. I feel bad.
Especially as European wolf, they're a bit different, aren't they, to grey wolves?
Anyway, Romulus and Remus arrived at Palatine Hill. This is important for Aeneas as well, in the future as well. Palatine Hill is like kind of the capital of the kind of Palatine Hill still exists today as well. You can see where it is. They arrived at Palatine Hill. The two argued over where the exact position of the city should be. Romulus was set on the building of the city upon the Palatine, but Remus wanted to build the city on the strategic and easily fortified of Aventine Hill. They agreed to settle their argument by testing their abilities as augurs and by the will of the deities. So they go, okay, we're going to see who wins by whoever God likes us more. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a very definitely like a popularity contest. Each took a seat on the ground apart from one another, and Remus saw 6 vultures, which were considered to be sacred to Mars, their father, whilst Romulus saw 12. So but surely they must just see the same flock.
They're not sitting near each other.
Right next to each other. No, I got them! Romulus won that vulture. That's the shittest challenge I've ever heard of.
Also, you could just go up to someone, how much did you see? And you're like, I saw 7. And then immediately just be like, oh yeah, I saw 8.
It's like countdown rules. What's your number? 5. I've got 6.
Yeah.
Remus was enraged by Romulus's victory. He claimed that since he had seen his 6 vultures first, he should have won. He does have a point, though, doesn't he?
Does have a point.
When Romulus began digging a trench, or building a wall, for his city boundaries was to run, Remus ridiculed some parts of the work and obstructed others. So he's trying to like kind of dick around on this thing because he's pissed off. At last, Remus leapt across the trench and omened a bad luck, since this implied that the city fortification would be easily breached. Romulus was pissed off by this, because he just jumped. Romulus was enraged by this.
This is the greatest wall I've ever built. He just jumped over it. Well, that was a... Yeah.
But get this, right? Romulus, enraged by this, he slew him, uttering this: "So perish everyone that shall hereafter leap over my wall." So, his brother, who he's gone through thick and thin with, he's been washed ashore, milked by Wolf City, and he killed his the great uncle, and now he's like, his brother jumps over a wall. Gonna have to kill him then. What a petty way to kill your brother.
Siblings in Miffs are always one or the other, though, aren't they? They either go on incredibly well, or they just absolutely hate each other.
Yeah, usually the latter.
There's never like normal sibling rivalry. It was like they got on all right, but deep down they loved each other.
Yeah.
But it was all, yeah.
That wouldn't really make a great myth, would it? Fighting broke out between those who supported Remus and those who supported Romulus, so like a civil war happened. But with Remus dead, it was only time before Romulus's forces were victorious. So they had a civil war over, do you want to put the city there or there? Why don't you just have a town planning meeting? That's a lot better, isn't it?
Mm.
Once the fighting subsided, Romulus buried Remus before continuing to build his city. He named the city Roma after himself, and served as its first king. In all fairness to Romulus, I don't think it would be as catchy if it was called Ream.
Ream. I was thinking that earlier, actually.
Yeah.
Rome is better than Ream.
Yeah. So,
welcome to the city of Ream. Do you remember the word Ream? It used to be slang, didn't it, back in the day?
Is it like Geordie Shore and Towing?
Yeah, it's like good, isn't it?
We're Ream, mate, yeah. Anyway, after the completion of the city, Romulus divided the people of Rome, who were able to fight, into regiments of 3,000 infantry and 300 cavalry. Romulus called those...
Where are all these people coming from?
Yeah, just those
you just built a city, but someone's going to actually come...
Maybe it's just like, oh, yeah, I'll be part of that, yeah. Maybe it's just like, it's like a Kickstarter, but in the old days. It's like, yeah, I'll chuck £5 towards that. Yeah, I'll chuck my life towards yeah, be alright. So they had 3,000 infantry and 300 cavalry. Romulus called these regiments legions. The rest of these people became the populace of the city, and out of the populace, Romulus had hand-selected 100 of the most noble men to serve as a council for the city. He called these men patricians, and their council was called the Roman Senate. Romulus called these noble men patricians, not only because they were the fathers of legitimate sons, but also because he had intended the great and wealthy to treat the weak and the poor as the fathers treat their sons. So this patronage actually feeds well into Roman society. Do you know about the patron-client relationships?
No.
So what would happen is that everyone would have a patron and everyone had a client. So the client would go to a patron, usually quite a wealthy person, and the patron would give them a amount of money or something to help along the ways, and the client would kind of, depending on what kind of service, they'll help them out in some way. Usually they kind of just hang around them, kind of like be sycophantic and go, oh yeah, you're great, yeah. And they hang around them and they just show appreciation. And so the patrons always pay the way for other people. So it's kind of like micro-socialism, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
So and it would go all the way to the top. So for example, Augustus, he was the patron to Ovid and Virgil and loads of different poets as well. And so he paid the way for these poets, and Horace as well. He kind of paid the way for these people to write their works, because he essentially was funding them to write work for him under the.
Wouldn't that be nice to live in a society like that now?
Yeah, like it worked really well from what I know, and although, for example, at the end of Virgil's life, because he created the Aeneid, it finished on book 12, but however that wasn't the end. However, Virgil wanted to destroy it at the end of book 12. He's like, I don't want anyone to read this, but Augustus, because essentially it's Augustan propaganda, because it promotes Augustus really well and his society. He's like, no, I'm just keeping it. So he promoted it himself. So he went away. So it's kind of shitty in that aspect from an artistic point of view, and it does kind of does throw a shade over your work because there's a lot of heavy context, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and everything's not exactly everything's a bit biased.
Dan, and we need some levity here because there's a lot of say something gross or something.
Oh, that was quite a lot of facts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Why is the world map? Isn't it? Don't you think it's weird to think that the world map is seen north to south as it is, just because we've decided north to south? Like, it could quite easily, like, there's no such thing, there's no real north. We could have just quite easily decided the South Pole was the North Pole and the North Pole was the South Pole, and our world map could have quite easily be upside down. But because when cartographers started doing the world map, they decided to do it that way around. Do you not think that's really interesting?
It shows the axis, right? Because the axis turns like that.
Yeah, it does, but we're in space, aren't we? So it can quite easily spin the other way. Do you know what I mean? There is no up or down, is there, in space? We just decided that that's up and down.
That wasn't levity, that added more confusion. Anyway.
Did you know that sulfur farts smell...
like rotten eggs?
Yeah, do you know why the silent farts smell worse? It's because they contain more sulfur, whereas farts that are loud tend to just be air that you've digested by accident escaping, and air obviously doesn't smell, whereas sulfur does.
That is fascinating. Not levity, but yeah, it's good. Thank you, man. That was literally the smartest fart joke I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, so they have this patron-client relationship. So he kind of built this system he created this societal structure, which is really important in Roman society. This delineates, symbolically, the inauguration of the patron-client relationship, also known as clientelia, which was essential to Roman culture and society, and was later passed down to medieval societies as well. So, essentially what I just said there.
Romulus spread the reputation of Rome as an asylum to all who desired a new life. Because of this, Rome attracted a population of exiles, refugees, murderers, criminals, and runaway slaves. My favourite type of people.
It started okay. It was like, oh yeah, some refugees, murder. Okay, no.
Rome's population grew so much that the city settled 5 of the 7 hills of Rome: the Capitoline Hill, the Aventine Hill, Cillian Hill, the Quirinal Hill, the Palatine Hill.
Would you like me to do the names for you? Or are they okay?
I think people get it.
Basically, just slur. If you go to Rome, the Valentine Hill, the Hill, the Beck Hill.
Romulus, however, saw a problem quickly forming before him. Few of the foreigners.
A lot of the murderers in
this is a big problem.
Sorry.
Few of the foreigners had wives.
Oh, I know where this is going. Actually,
Romulus decided he needed to fill his city with women as well.
So essentially, he realised that his whole city was it's a sausage party.
Well, it's full of like exiles and
and obviously a lot of them are murderers and kind of like
a lot of them are male, I guess.
Yeah. So
obviously, it says that. Continue.
So what do you reckon his proposal would be, Dan?
I would pay women to come, maybe advertise on the adverts.
Of course you would pay women to come, wouldn't you? You do that all the time, you know.
Yeah,
sorry, we're not allowed to talk about that on the podcast.
Yeah, they don't know. That's the problem. I would advertise on things like billboards.
Put a space.
Love Island would be a good place to advertise a brand new city.
Imagine Love City, and then Love Island, Love Rome, and
Love Island, sponsored by Rome. The girls would be like, wow, that looks nice. Maybe schools getting the young.
Wow. You know what they're going to do to him there, by the way?
No, as in like so girls know that. Oh, that's a place. Yeah.
Well, maybe they could have done it in a way like, you know, like you give tax credits to like women who live there. Like, oh, if you live here for X, Y amount of years, you get it's very good. It pays your way. However, they don't do that. What do they do instead, Dan?
To provide wives so that his society could flourish, Romulus decided to steal women from the Sabines, an Italian tribe. Is that Sabines?
Yes. Oh, Sabines or Sabines. Right.
So basically, a nearby tribe.
Yeah, and they're so a nearby kind of more primitive tribe, and who had a lot of women. And what happened, Dan?
He proclaimed a festival and invited many Sabines to it. So he's invited the women to it. While the attention of the men was elsewhere, Romulus's men rushed in and carried off the women. Wow.
So he kidnaps a whole
So he invites
society.
the tribe round for a festival.
Yeah, and grabs
all the women, what's that?
So it's a slightly game of, you know, like kind of the Red Wedding where they just catch him off guard, invite him as this hospitality thing. So this, it might mention what it's called in a second, right?
The rape of the Sabine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Romulus starts off his society with the rape of the Sabines, and this is actually well documented because it's one of the. It's such a dark way to start your city, if you know what I mean. Especially with the term, the rape word in there as well. Like it's super dark, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But well, in a weird way, a lot of people do celebrate that. It's like, oh, you've saved our city. However, the city is literally founded on rape and murder and pillaging, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So,
getting off the wrong foot.
Yeah, and bear in mind, this whole myth is actually supposed to be Augustan propaganda. I don't know. It doesn't come across great.
This was the famous rape of the Sabine women, which later became a subject for painters. The Sabine men were furious, I wonder why,
Yeah.
and, led by their king Titus Tatius, made war on Romulus.
What was his name?
Titus Tatius?
It definitely sounds like a potato farmer.
It does, yeah.
Titus
Tatius. Or maybe it's Titus Tatus. No, it's not. It's definitely Titus Tatius.
Titus Tatius. That's a tongue twister, isn't it?
Yeah.
Titus Tatius.
When the fighting had reached its peak, the Sabine women, who had grown fond of their Roman husbands, rushed between their ranks and begged both sides to make peace. How pissed would you be if you're one of the Sabine men? The women come. Actually, we actually do quite like
have
them.
Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
But again, what I don't like is this. We saw it in the last week as well, where these men just take these women and then take them, and the part of the story is, oh, we really like it. Actually, it seems really kind of oppressive. Yeah. I know it's just my liberal 21st century mind, but it you know what I mean, though. It's kind of like it's just. I don't think that's a guy telling the story. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They were really happy. They loved it.
Yeah.
Did they? Did they love being dragged from their families and raped?
Or maybe they only tried to call for a truce because they knew their family was going to get murdered. You know what I mean?
So the battle was stopped. Romulus and Titus Tatius ruled together over the two peoples until Titus Tatius was killed in battle. Yeah. That mysterious battle during the night. Yeah.
I literally imagine Titus Tatius as like a king, a potato with a king.
Romulus, where's Titus this morning? He died in battle. What battle? There hasn't been one in months. Just one of the battles.
Let's just say he jumped over my wall.
For the rest of his life, Romulus ruled alone, proving himself a great leader in peace and war. He did not die, but disappeared one day in a violent storm.
What?
Pretty sure he died. Romans, believing he had been taken up to heaven, worshipped him under the name of Quirinus.
Yeah, Quirinus, I think it is, but I've never heard that term before.
The Romans, believing he had been taken up to heaven, worshipped him under the name Quirinus. He was succeeded by Numa Pompilius. The people of Rome grew proud of their city and loved the two gods they believed were the most influential, Venus and Mars. Although still seen as promiscuous, Venus was viewed by the Romans as more of a loving, caring goddess. As for Mars, he was viewed as their patron. He took on the qualities of Athena, strategy, tactics, and wisdom.
Just as a heads
He definitely died, by the way.
Yeah. No, he just went for a swim. They mentioned Mars and Venus. Mars obviously came through the Romulus and Remus bloodline. However, Venus came through the Aeneid bloodline because his Aeneas's mother was Venus as well. So that's why they revere those two gods in particular within Roman society. So they mentioned at the very end that Romulus turned into a god and Do you know what that's called? In there's a word for it.
What, becoming a god?
The transcendence of becoming a god.
I don't know.
It's called apotheosis, and basically it's when a real life person, or in this case a fictional person within Roman culture, they love and revere them so much that they make him into a god,
A deity of some kind, yeah.
Like happened with Julius Caesar, Augustus as well.
Yeah.
Because that's apotheosis of a real life human being as well, and so it's weird that in Roman culture it's a mixture between that. It is that fictional gods, and then there's the real life people who they make into the gods as well.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean?
Like Jesus.
Okay, we're gonna go into the outro. Controversial. It's interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm deeply fascinated with that. In fact, hello, welcome back. Talking more about apotheosis, because I studied Suetonius' 12 Caesars, and it's the first 12 Roman emperors, because Julius Caesar was the first one, but it's actually really...
I would quite like to read that, actually.
It's a bit weird if you don't know the context, but it's really fascinating. It basically goes into depth about each of the Roman emperors, because the first unofficial one was Julius Caesar, but he wasn't actually an emperor. The first emperor was after the end of the Civil War, the Second Civil War. Augustus was emperor. He was the first proper emperor, but he's called the second Caesar. However, within these 12 Caesars, they either do really well and they are turned into gods, or they do really badly and they are turned into they are infamous within history as well.
Yeah.
So like the people who they have Julius Caesar, Augustus, someone like Titus as well, who transcended up, but people like Nero, Caligula, like particularly Caligula is really, because he's the fourth emperor, and he grew up without his parents being his parents were like emperors, so he knew he was going to be in power all day. He's like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. He actually looks a bit like Joffrey.
Okay, he just knows he's going to be in power, so he just abuses it.
You usually find that,
whereas the others were more or less in it for the people.
And you also we discussed that if you work and then turn to a politician, you're more like kind of a bit more down to earth, if you know what I mean. Like, sorry, it's a bad example, but like. He hadn't had to fight for that leadership role.
Yes,
he hasn't
no idea of what it's like to be a normal person in Rome. Yeah.
However, everyone was so scared of him and continued to be scared of him even as a child and as he grew up, because he had he had unrealistic amounts of power, and you usually find that within societies. The third king or third person to the throne, who
is now the only person who's grown up with it being normal.
You usually find them to be absolute arseholes because they don't know anything.
Like Joffrey.
Joffrey is a perfect example. In fact, if you do look, there's actually a picture of Caligula and Joffrey who look exactly the same. It's really weird.
I wonder if that was his inspiration, George R. R. Martin.
Well, George R. R. Martin really just
take it from history, doesn't it?
Yeah, he really because he just takes tropes within history and then applies it to like his fantasy setting. That's why it's real life history and applications of society within those times, but into his fictional setting, and that's why it's fascinating. Anyway, it's been an odd episode this one. It has.
Do you want me to say something to offset that?
Yes, please.
Tits!
Wolf tits!
Some sweet wolf titty.
Wolf.
I'm trying to think of something that would offset this. Very topical. That was interesting there. I can't think.
Anyway, should we rank the myths, Dan?
Let's rank the myths. How do you rank myths, Matt?
Well, what I do is I sit in my stool, I pray, I say, "Thank you, Lord, for what you have given me." Then I go, "Life skills, morals, creativity, WTF factor." That's what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Life skills, what do we learn?
Well, life skills is practical application.
We're going to rank out of 10, by the way, for people who have never listened to
Sorry, I
myths.
forgot to do that, yeah.
These 4 categories will be ranked out of 10. Out of a possible 40, we will see how they compare to other myths.
What did we learn, Dan?
We learned that...
wolf tits taste nice.
Wolf titties.
Yeah, we learned how to nurture young people.
Oh, yes, we learned how to try and secretly kill kids, put them in a flood.
We also learned how to deceive gods in that way as well.
How to deceive gods, yeah.
We also learned how to jump over walls.
Yeah.
We learned how to kill our brother.
We learned how to kill our great uncle.
We learned how to...
found a city.
We learned how to fight in a war several times. learned how to get killed in a storm.
Yeah, we learned how to solve your lack of women crisis.
Well, let's not laugh about it. I actually think that's so dark and grim, isn't it? But that's part of that Roman culture. Regardless, and we learned how to that the best way to settle a score with your brother is to count birds in the sky.
Yeah, just count birds in the sky. No, I think it's pretty good overall.
It's pretty good. I think we also learned. Well, yeah, there's a lot there.
Do you want to do a count of 3 and then we both say the number?
Also, we learned how to transcend to the gods as well. So
we did.
Not like Bellerophon. It's like, I will fly up there and have a nice time. Oh no, my legs. Okay, count of 3.
3, 2, 1, 7.
Let's go for 7.
Okay, 7.
I'm happy with 7.
Smashing it.
Are you going to write this down in your brain this time?
I'm going to write this down in my brain.
7. Morals. So the ethical things we learn. Don't kill your brother. Don't kill your great uncle. If you're going to kill a couple of kids, make sure you kill them properly.
If there's anything you should take away from this,
yeah.
If you're going to kill a kid, just do it properly.
Well,
we've learned from these myths. Yeah, we've learned these in the myths.
We learned that...
or in general, in any of the myths, if you are... 1, prophecies always come true. Secondly, don't trust the gods. And third, if you really need to kill someone, just kill them. Because they will... If these myths are taught of anything, they will come back to bite you in the arse.
Yes, always cut off loose ends.
Yeah.
We also learned... don't have sex with a Vestal Virgin.
Don't have sex with a Vestal Virgin.
Also, why did Rhea Silvia just kind of let her kids just be taken away from her as well?
That's true, yeah.
We learned that don't be a fucking credit stealer, Barry Woodpecker, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't,
I guess the big ones are don't kill your brother, don't start the war, negotiate with your brother, I guess, to figure out where it is, because he ended up taking all places within the Palatine Hill anyway. And I guess don't let... sorry, go on.
There is a moral, actually a good kind of moral, if you take away all the raping and the pillaging, but the moral is to look after one another.
Yes,
because ultimately he did found Rome and he did create a very nice city for everyone to live in.
Also, his Faustus and Acca, they taught him to live a humble life as well. So teach respect as well.
What happened to Alba Longa? What happened to the city?
Alba Longa? I think it just because Alba Longa was at the transition between, because that's how they get to Rome, if you know what I mean. They needed Alba Longa as an initial kind of basis. So Iolus started that, and then I'm not sure. I think it just went into obscurity. If you know what I mean. Maybe Rome took it over, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it is a mythical place as well. However, I think there's some big ones in moral. Like it's not loads, but there's really significant ones.
Well, I wouldn't say there's one. There's not like an overarching moral.
But then again, there is
lots of little ones.
Actually, and within August, and like this is how Augustus wants to do, because he really Augustus really wanted to make sure men after the Civil War, he wanted to make sure people behaving in a really good fashion. He wanted to be civilized people, if you know what I mean. He really tried to push that. So he's trying to show the virtues of manhood here and how to provide. I'm not condoning this, but like essentially what that myth's about is saying how to provide for your family, how to sustain, how to look after one another, how to help one another as well. There are twisted ways which he does that, but that's the underlying what he's trying to show. That's the reason why I included that. So I think it's decent here. But what do you think?
Do you want to do a countdown again?
Yeah, let's do it for all of them.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, 8.
7. Yeah, go for 8.
Okay, 8. Nice. I'm gonna write that down in my brain.
Is it in small writing again, Dan?
Yeah,
God damn it!
It is.
Creativity. The stuff we find wonderful in this world.
I think this isn't very creative.
Isn't? Or
I think it is.
I think it is as well, because I love that it's actually based in reality.
Yeah, Ares comes down and does his thing.
Yeah.
Woohoo! The whole fact that she's a virgil priestess.
That's why you're condemned by virginity.
The babies, and the flood, that's quite ingenious.
Yeah.
The bloody wolf.
Yeah, the she-wolf.
The she-wolf and her wolf ditties.
Faustus. Yeah, the whole, like, the fact that he kills his brother, but also he's not raptured in that guilt. Romulus's life is so rich as well. There's a lot happens. He does the wall, he fights the Tato man,
but all of that idea, like
and how he dies as well.
Women, how he dies.
I think maybe like a 8 or a 9. Sorry, countdown. 3, 2,
2,
1, 8.
2. I said that to be different. Yeah, I think 8.
And finally,
So we're going 8. Okay.
8. Is it maybe a 9? What do you reckon?
I think an 8.
I wasn't.
I'm thinking, why isn't it a 9?
Did it blow my mind though?
No, it didn't blow my mind.
But
There's
again,
no mythical, like...
There's no monsters.
There are no monsters, no crazy... There have been some crazy things, like no one's turning into something, or...
Because I think it's fiction, but it's believable fiction.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not...
It's like Batman in the Dark Knight.
Okay. We have a long conversation to talk to you about, Dan. The thing is that the only truly mythical thing that happens is that Mars comes down to... The rest of it is within the realms of human society. But of course, it's highly unlikely that you're going to try and kill a kid and that Alba longer exists, or this even never happened. But it's within the realms of possibility, if you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. It could have been believable.
But I think this is the most extreme... I think for what it is, for like a non-myth, like as in like not a monsters and folklore myth, I think this is actually the highest. I think 8's the highest we can really give it, because it's not. So. It's not like it's only doused in like fantasy.
Yeah, I also think 8.
8.
Okay.
So 7, 8, 8. WTF? Mars and a Vessel Virgin. That's pretty messed up.
Pretty messed up.
Killing his brother.
Pretty messed up. She-Wolf.
Yeah, sweet, but WTF. Yeah. But a sweet WTF. Like, oh, what the fuck? On the same side, I think that obviously the most WTF for me is obviously the rape of the Sabines. That's
pretty messed up.
I think with all the other myths, this isn't me being sanctimonious or whatever, but like with all the other myths, they are... With WTF, it's all like, whoa, that's weird. Like, look at these different monsters, or killing themselves. It's always...
But this you could believe actually might have happened, which makes it all the worse.
Yeah, it's... For example, the Battle of Lapis...
It's pretty messed up, but they're centaurs.
It's fantasy. However, this is in the realms of possibility of human beings. I can see human beings actually doing
this.
That's why it's the darkness of humanity. That's the truly messed up part of the story, that no one really stopped that. And the fact that...
It probably could have happened.
Yeah, and it has happened in history as well. And it was revered as well as this is a good thing. And I think that's a genuine WTF moment for me, as opposed to, it's not just for the sake of this rank as well. I think there's a lot there. Obviously, how he dies is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's in a storm.
Countdown.
Okay.
3, 2, 1,
7. Nice. There we go. 7787.
30.
7887. Sorry.
So that is a total of 30.
Is it 7887?
Yeah, 7887. Total of 30.
Well,
pretty high.
Wait, let me just double check that. 7 plus 8 is 15. 7 plus 8 is 15. 15. Wow, it's 30. Pretty high.
You're such a dick.
That's actually really high though.
Yeah, well, bear in mind...
anything 30 or above is pretty high.
Well, this is a different myth because it's actually based... It's based on something real in reality, if you know what I mean? Yes. So, I think it's really... I think it's done pretty well for itself, which is... I think it's a good myth, wasn't it, Dan?
It was a good myth.
Chocker as well, wasn't it?
Chocker-blocker.
Anyway, how can people get in touch with us? Because I bet, they were like, oh, Matt... That was a really good episode. It wasn't funny, but it was definitely an interesting episode from you today.
I think they should get in contact on Twitter, @Miffs Podcast.
Yeah.
Or on Facebook, @Miffs Podcast.
Or you can email us in. Please do send us an email at miffspodcast@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. We do read out emails on the podcast, haven't we, Dan?
We do.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't, for a multitude of reasons. But if you want your podcast read out on here, we would love to do that for you. Just let us know. And why don't you suggest a myth for us to do? And we look forward to doing that for you.
I concur. Please also give us 5 stars on iTunes. It does help. We're also on Spotify now. We never mentioned that.
Yes, we're on Spotify now. So do check us out. You can stream us. And so if you have a couple of what we would like you to do, if you enjoy this podcast, this is episode 25. We hope you do enjoy it. It's not just some kind of like you're just doing it for the passion. You just really like me and Dan, but you don't like the content we put out. We put you to sleep or something. But if you like what we do, why don't you share it with a friend? And an easy way to do that is show them on Spotify as well. So stream it on there. And if you want to help us with the ratings, guys, why don't you just, when you go to sleep, just turn down your phone to silent and just play it for us, just on repeat or non-stop.
Loads of different devices as well,
exactly.
so it looks really good, yeah.
So if you can just create like a bot farm in your basement, that'd be great. I appreciate that. A download is a download, Dan.
A download's a download. Well, this has been 25 episodes, man. Have you enjoyed it?
Man, this is, you know...
One of the better myths, actually.
Well, it's a significant myth, you know. I mean, there's a lot happening.
Just to call back to an email we had ages ago, I'm interested, particularly with this one. What actors would you have play Romulus and Remus?
If you can't remember, in episode 5 and then 10, we read out Katie's email where she talked about which kind of actors we would have. So, in this one in particular...
Yeah, I'm just thinking this is a good one to do that for.
As a kind of avant-garde director, I'll get Jake Gyllenhaal as Romulus, but also is it Maggie Gyllenhaal as Remus? Right? Yeah. Well, no. I think there's probably better.
I'd have the Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah. Oh, that's way
Liam
better.
and Chris.
Yeah. Oh,
Boom.
definitely. Which one would you have though?
I think you'd have to have Chris Hemsworth as Romulus, wouldn't you? He's a better actor, so he deserves more screen time. That's my only thought process.
Are we producers now?
Yeah.
Should we go? Well, let's not do it. We haven't got a lot.
No, I was just thinking about. Well, it's just an interesting one.
How about Amelius? Who'd play Rhea Sylvia? As in like the mother, of the kind.
That could be a Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Who would play the she-wolf? Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson probably. Yeah, he'd play anything, couldn't he? Daniel Day-Lewis probably.
I will suckle you. Like Aslan voice.
Yeah, Aslan. I am the she-wolf. Yeah.
Suckle my wolf titties.
Anyway, that's been us.
Thank you for listening to Miffs podcast. Also, do come and check me out on Edinburgh Fringe. You know where I am. 7 to 8 at the go on my website. I can't be bothered.
Just go on matthouse.co.uk.
Why don't you tweet me at Matt House Comedy and I'll give you all the dates on there. Do come along. I'll tell your friends to come along. Or don't. Bye.
Miffs. 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 Miffs.
Do you know Bethel versions?
Yeah, they're condemned to have sex. You just said.
This is hard work today, Dan.